In the year of our Lord, 1701, the Republic of Venice went to war with the sovereign monarchy of Ralston. This war was over passage rights through the Adriatic Sea, though this point will rarely be brought up when the war is discussed by future historians. It was, like most wars, overstretched and too costly. Neither side could afford it, nor would they back down. Many lives were lost, and whatever the outcome, each nation would nurse its wounds for some time. The war raged on for 6 years, draining both countries' resources. But the Republic of Venice was older than Ralston and had deeper pockets. In a war of attrition, they would win, and both sides knew it. 3 generals from Ralston, 2 brothers and a close friend, came together to strategize, and came up with nothing. They would not win this war. In desperation, one reached out to a dark power and was told to make pilgrimage to Golgotha. With no other avenue, they spent 1 month sailing to the walls of Jerusalem, where they docked under cover of darkness. On the hill where the man named Jesus died, they met a figure, too old to identify as man or woman. It offered them a book, an already ancient thing made of pale leathers and filled with symbols that hurt their eyes to look upon. The thing smiled as they took it, a smile made of too many teeth. Full of dread for what they had seen and what they were about to do, they sailed for another month to get home. Things had gone badly in the time they were away. Soon they would have to surrender, and Ralston would fall into decline, one it was unlikely to survive. Whatever doubt the men had about using the knowledge in that book, their mind was set now. They cast its pages open and chanted dark incantations. And lo, did the dead walk upon the earth that night. Undead sailors hauled themselves into the Venetian boats. Soldiers dragged themselves from battlefields and clawed up from shallow graves to drive the Venetians from the land. The war was won. The Venetians could not fight Ralston's impossible numbers. They surrendered, the book was shut, and the dead were dead once more. The book was destroyed, but the world had noticed. Ralston had dark magic, and no shame in using it. Many enemies, without and within, were born that day. 1711. 3 years later, a child was born to one of the generals involved in unleashing the spell. A beautiful baby girl. A comet passed overhead that night, one that cycled between purple and green. Few saw it, but those that did walked away from their lives to explore more of the world before them. You were taken from your mother and left with a nursemaid for your first few days in this world. A heavy-set lady who helped raise many children in the town. She was lauded for her understanding of children and how their minds behaved, though nobody turned up at her funeral when she died of heart failure. You were born into wealth and status and had all you could wish for. But your parents never had another child, and your father was often preoccupied with his work. Your mother, distant, sickly and delirious, you heard another mother say. Hoffman, the family steward, raised you more than they. It was a lonely childhood. 1718. You are 8 years old. You play with friends from school, 2 poorer boys, Diedrich and Flip. Your father disapproves. You play in the graveyard outside the city. Nobody goes there without an armed guard. But children do not care for such things. Children are small and fast and can outrun Ghoul, at least when the sun is up. One day, as you play, you hear a rustling coming from some trees. You all freeze. Then a stone whizzes out of the green and hits you on the head. You stare in disbelief, a slow trickle of blood running down your face, partially blocking sight from your left eye. A group of other children from the city emerge from the tree line. You recognize their leader, a boy named Willard.
You shouldn't be here, he calls out. It's against the rules.
He punches the palm of his hand.
This is for your own good.
Pick up a stick and stand your ground.
You don't tell me what to do.
There were more of them, and they swarmed you. But you broke Willard's nose in the midst of it all. You weren't sure if it was the broken nose or that they got whatever anger they had towards you out of their system, but they left you alone after that. That night you are woken by voices outside your window. You look out. You can see the graveyard, though you know it's normally on the other side of the house and too far away to see. In it, 2 people dig up a grave. Despite the distance and lack of light, you can make out. One of the people stops. Then, and without moving their body in any way, they turn their head to look at you. You do not recognize them. They grin an unearthly grin at you, so eerie that it wakes you from your sleep. By morning, you have forgotten it all. Years later, you catch sight of yourself in a mirror, and the memory of this dream comes back to you as you suddenly realize that the face staring at you had been your own, the one you have now as an adult. 1721. One morning, Your mother comes to your school. She takes you out, even though classes are not finished. She says everything is okay, but you do not believe her. Her mannerisms tip you off. She is normally so distant, but today is very close, holding hands and hugging you, kissing your cheek even. She brings you around the town. First you stop to buy sugared apples, then she takes you shopping. New clothes, new books, new toys, a luggage trunk. She brings you to the castle and, with some whispered words and coins exchanged, the guard lets you into the grounds. You go to the pond and throw bread and watch fish pop their heads up to steal from the ducks. You walk the city walls and the two of you take in the view. The sea to the west, the hills to the south, the forest to the east and north, and beyond the northern tree line, the road that leads to the capital. That, she tells you through teary eyes, is where you're going. You won't understand until you're older. Maybe not even then. You need more than I can give you, more than I can be. You protest. She cries. When she stops crying, she doesn't remember where you are, how you got there. A watchman brings you home. There your father glares at you, angry that you upset your mother, angry at your non-compliance. Hoffman brings you to your room to help you put your new clothes and books and toys into your new trunk. He tells you that she loves you, that this is for the best. A few days later, your carriage rides out of town. In your children's stories, events like this happen on rainy days, but today is sunny and clear-skied. As the carriage crests a hill, you can look back towards the city and see it all. The farms, the walls, the groves, the castle, the seas. Your home. How do you feel as you are taken away? I don't understand what I did wrong for them to send me away like this. I wonder, will I ever understand? "1722. A year has passed. More quickly than you might have expected. Winter's first snow falls lightly outside. You watch from your dorm and reflect on your time here. You are thankful for the library here. Books have been your salvation. You look at the collection of books scattered around you now. Buried under them are the books your mother bought you over a year ago. You have read them many times. You miss her. 1725. Your schooling is done now. Your time here is over. You spent much of this year deciding what to do next. One of your professors said, "This sounds exciting to you, and well paid too." With your path decided, you found you had time before your training began, so you made the trip home to visit your parents and tell them of your plans. Your travel home feels faster than it was leaving. Perhaps mindset, perhaps age, perhaps because you have done it once already and can spy milestones. Whatever the reason, you arrive home to your mother and Hoffman awaiting you. Your father is not there. It had been 4 years since you were home. Not a long time for some, but a quarter of your life. You had this idea that you had matured, changed so much in that time, but... You try to wow your old friends with tales of your time away. They have spent these last 4 years roaming the lands here, exploring the forests, climbing the mountains, learning to sail the oceans, free. They don't care about your time locked away in boarding school. In truth, neither do you. Despite this, it is good to be home again. To see your friends and family. You have a good summer. 1727. You are nearly 2 years into your training now, and it goes largely as expected. You miss home, but the pangs grow less as time passes. Your mentor, an older lady named Valentina Zupan, takes you to the Scottish courts to watch the burning of a witch. The woman is accused of fornication with the devil, but Valentina says that the only crime this woman, and women burned like her, committed was striving for knowledge, studying the natural world and trying to understand it. Valentina wants you to see how other countries treat people who they cannot understand, how they treat knowledge they cannot fathom. She tells you then that a war has broken out at home. A lich, a powerful undead sorcerer, has begun raising the dead and marches on the capital. So far its armies show no sign of moving out of Ralston, but Venetian and Habsburg forces are amassing on their respective borders to repel anything that tries to cross them. Other nations will turn this on us. They will try to turn the Pope on us too, no doubt. They'd see us burned like that witch. This is our job, to slow the tide that comes for us. We shall travel to other courts, seeking help. We will get none. In reality, we're there to find the lips that whisper against us, and do what we must to shut them, by deals or blackmail, whatever it takes. You were on a carriage to London that night, on the start of a tour of Europe that would carry on for the next year. Eventually, word reaches you that the Lich has been defeated, that its forces collapsed as the final blow was struck. Your father was at that battle, as was your uncle. You learn your uncle was wounded, but is well. Neither man died, though the same cannot be said for thousands of others in the country. The soldier's work is done now. Our work only gets harder. Venice will want to march in retaliation for 1708. Habsburg will want the land. Several others will want us stomped out for being too liberal. We must keep these wolves at bay while our country rebuilds. 1729. Your training complete, you land your first post. You were thrown to the wolves and sent to the courts of Venice. You never found out why you were sent here, and it has never become clear if this was a punishment or a prestigious assignment. You never see the Doge Alvise III Sebastiano Mocenigo. You never see anyone of note. You spend your days with minor nobles and nameless ambassadors clawing over any attention at all. Nobody asks your opinion or listens when you speak. How does this posting make you feel? I suppose somebody has to be put. 1731. You are through the early years of your career now. You have earned some recognition and accolades. Some time from work and a purse are made available to you. As you take some time to enjoy this leave, a terrible thing happens to you. A night you met with your friends, Elsa, Laszlo and Astrid. The four of you went to the local tavern. It is a busy night, with music playing on the stage and entertainers going from table to table. A fire roared, a pig was roasted, devilment was in the air. Many drinks in, you met a couple, Heta and Jobst. They joined your group. You shared stories over beers. They were going to a party and invited you along. You decided to go, even though your friends were calling it a night. You, Heta and Jobst wandered the streets drunkenly laughing, sharing a bottle of pumpkin seed liqueur you'd bought at the tavern. They brought you through an alleyway, a shortcut. They stopped and took out a bag of powder. Heta took a pinch and motioned to offer you some. As you grew near, she blew it in your face. Everything. When you came to, you could not place where you were. Your head throbbed. You could see out a window. You were high up. Inside the clock tower, you thought. There was movement around you. First, you heard Jobst speaking. No, not speaking. Chanting. A language you didn't know. You saw a figure walk before you. It wore a robe. You realized it was Heta when you saw the hair coming from her hood. She saw you were awake. Jobst? The chanting stopped. Another robed figure walked out before you.
I am sorry,
Jobst said.
that this is happening to you. You seem nice. We had hoped to find a sacrifice we'd feel less guilty about. I guess it's not really a sacrifice if it's something you wanted rid of.
He smiled. There was a kindness there that didn't sit well in this situation. The sun is coming up, Heta said. Jobst stood. Without saying anything else, they left. Then you smelled the smoke. A fire. They were burning the tower. A panic washed over you. How long until the flames spread and you burned? The smoke filled the room. You coughed. A bell sounded. Soon, the smoke began to die out. Somebody passing in the early hours had seen the fire and sounded the alarm. They were able to extinguish the flames before the fire could properly take hold. Soon you were found and cut. 1733. When you learned of your father's death, you were... on a date. The main course had just been served when a courier came to you and delivered the letter. It had your family. Something changed in you then, and not for the better. Any chance I had at repairing that relationship had just been put pulled now, days later. Your carriage crests the hills towards Marnes, the sun blasting off the red and yellow bricks and rippling off the blue sea beyond. You are almost home. Home to bury a man I never really knew, and now never would.
Should we stop, madam?
This woman is a trickster. Don't let her appearance deceive you.
I'm not afraid of you.
Should we stop, madam?
Be on your way, stranger.
Should we stop, madam?
Yes. Apart from this pair of fools annoying me.
Stay out of this. It is none of your business.
Whoa there.
Welcome home, my lady. I trust your journey was a pleasant one. I am Albrecht, butler to the family Van Elstrix since even your father was a boy. If Madam wishes to go inside, I shall follow along with the luggage.
I'll be on my way once I get my coin. I don't ask questions, and neither should you.
Can I help you, my lady? Can I help you, my lady?
His ship should be back any day now. Any day.